We'll start in a couple minutes, and it might be helpful to have if you have like a small blanket or a pillow. We're gonna start in a prone position, which is on our stomach. So if you have anything like a little blanket or something that you might put underneath your hips or something, not totally necessary, but whatever it could come in handy throughout the practice too. And I'll be doing my best to articulate things clearly so you don't have to be looking at the screen the whole time. Though I also will be demonstrating. We'll hope, but if there's any questions at all, feel free to frantically wave or unmute yourself. And I believe Hope sent a playlist, so if you are interested in having music accompany your practice, you're welcome to pull that up on Spotify. And I think it helps to have it play from a different device. But if you like to practice in silence, you get to choose that as well. Hello, welcome. For those of you who I haven't met before, I'm Emily. I'm happy to have you here today. So we'll get started. We're going to start in a prone position, so that's on our stomachs. And as I mentioned, if you want to put a blanket or something underneath your hips, and you're welcome to place your head on your hands or turn a cheek to one side. It is up to you. So finding as comfortable as possible. I know sometimes laying on our stomachs isn't always the most comfortable. Finding some stillness here. While we're on our stomachs, we can feel a lot of contact in the ground here. Bringing attention to the front of our body to start. We have palm of our hands, our bellies, letting that front part of our body feel really soft, melting into the ground. And as with each breath, we can bring also attention to our back body, feeling expansiveness of the back of the ribs. You can think of the whole body back body expanding with each breath. The bottom of the feet. Expansion from the rib cage. Letting our breaths feel really big right now. Ocean breaths coming in and out like the waves, like water, if you need a visualization. Letting our minds settle, bringing that attention to the breath and to the sensation of our contact on the ground. And then we'll come into a sphinx, slowly bringing our forearms in front of us. And then letting our right ear drop to the right shoulder, breathing into our neck. Feeling length between shoulder and the crown of the head. Then exhaling and dropping the chin down. And rocking to the other side, left ear to left shoulder. Again, creating space from shoulder to the crown of the head. And letting yourself go back and forth here. Letting yourself pause where it feels nice or it needs a little more attention. And then rotating walking our hands a little bit towards the left, looking over our left shoulder, feeling the expansion from on the right side of the body. Staying here, or you might reach back for your foot for a quad stretch. Being gentle. And then slowly letting that foot go, walking our hands back to the center, and then bringing our head back down to the ground. Letting yourself settle, taking in any information, any differences between the right and left side of your body. And then your next breath, coming back to our Sphinx pose and walking our hands over to the right side. Looking over our right shoulder, again, length on the left side of the body, looking towards our heels. Staying here or reaching back and grabbing a foot, grabbing your right foot. Taking out a sensation in the front of the quads, length in the front of the right hip. And then slowly releasing down. And I forgot to mention, at any point you can start your music, but it can also wait until you're closer to it. We're gonna extend our arms out right in front of us. I'm thinking of our fingers and toes in opposite direction. And we're gonna lift opposite arm and leg. So lifting our right arm and left leg up, feeling them reaching in opposite directions. They might just be an inch off the ground, feeling the glute engage, the back engage, and then exhale, releasing down. We'll do that a couple more times. Inhaling, lifting right arm, left leg. Then the opposite side of the body connecting, and then exhale, releasing down. Again, inhale, lifting up, holding it for a couple breaths, maybe lifting up a little bit higher. And then exhale, releasing down. And then turning towards our left, bringing our left knee up to the side for a half frog. So that left leg is at a 90-degree angle, knee is about parallel, the same level with your hip. Again, gentle hip opener. For this beginning of practice, letting the front of our body just feel really soft here, really melting into the mat, whatever ground is on right now. And letting the breath really live in the back. Feeling the rise and fall of our shoulder blades. You may feel your heartbeat on your mat. We're going to push on to the right side of our body, coming into this beach lounge pose. So our head can be propped by our arms, and we can let our right arm or left hand can kind of hang out in front of us for support. We did something similar a couple weeks ago if you were in my class. We're going to lift up our knee, bending it at a right angle here, and you can point your toes And using this arm for support as we internally rotate, working our knee towards the ground. It might touch, it might not. Like we're just dipping our knee in water and then letting it come back up. And then working this leg towards the back, allowing that toe just to maybe touch the ground again, like we're just dipping it in water and coming back up. We're gonna do this a couple more times on your own breath, feeling what parts of our core are engaging. It's a bit of a balance, side body balance, how our upper body might have to rotate a bit to maintain balance. And if at any point we get off balance, that's okay. Then extending this leg up in the air, stretching it. We're going to slowly let it meet the right leg, taking our time and almost as if our legs are opposite magnets, so they're resisting each other, allowing resistance as it slowly goes down. So then rotating onto our stomachs, taking a moment here, you turn your cheek towards the right. And then reaching both of our arms out in front of us again. Opposite arm reaching, left arm, right leg up. Inhaling. And then exhale, lowering. Inhale. And reaching in opposite directions and also feeling maybe a connection between shoulder blade and glute. And lowering. And then last one, lifting, maybe a little bit higher this time. And then exhale, releasing, turning towards our right, bringing that right knee again to that half frog, turning our cheek towards the right, letting ourselves melt into this gentle hip opener. And then pushing ourselves onto the left side of our body, again in this lounge position. Hand could be supporting our head. Knee coming into a right angle. Feeling solid here, core engaged. As we internally rotate that leg, flipping our knee into a pond in front of us, maybe touching the ground. And then coming back to center. And then rotate that leg behind us, dipping that toe. Going back and forth on your own timing. We've been paying attention to where the core is engaging, where our balance feels shaky. And then stretching that leg up, high towards the ceiling. Leg muscles are really engaged here. And slowly bringing that leg in towards the ground. Again, as if they're opposite magnets, resisting each other, full engagement of the inner thighs. And then releasing onto our stomachs. And turning towards the left cheek. And then we'll meet in child's pose. So shifting our hips back. Forehead can find the ground. Take a moment in child's pose. Taking a few big breaths into the mat. Letting the mind settle and taking the time for any intention for this practice. So inhale, coming straight into a cat. And then letting ourselves unfurl, coming down to our stomachs again, preparing for cobra. So palms planted into the side, dropping our shoulders and inhaling, lifting up to cobra. And then exhale, meeting back in child's pose. We do that a couple times. So inhaling, coming straight into this cat, like our spine is just unfurling back down to the ground. And then coming into cobra, inhale, dropping the shoulders. And back to child's pose. And one more time, inhale, I'm coming in through our cat. Waking up all the vertebrae in the spine, cobra. And releasing into child's pose. We'll meet in down dog. You're going to tabletop to get there, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up, and let yourself bend and stretch the legs a bit here, waking up the back of the hamstrings. And feeling our palms firmly planted into our mats. And rolling forward into plank. Holding this for 3 breaths. Option to lower your knees if you need. For modified plank, feeling the palms firmly planted into the ground, energy coming out of the heels and through the top of the crown. And then exhale, releasing down to the mat. Take a moment here, preparing for cobra or up dog. Rolling the shoulders back and down. And exhale, releasing into down dog. Inhale, lift that right heel up towards the ceiling, keeping the toes pointing down. Stepping that foot in between your hands, the top of your mat, dropping your knee, coming into a high lunge. The arms lift up. Sinking into this low lunge. And then dropping our left hand to the ground, reaching our right hand up towards the ceiling. We can let this arm make some big circles. So reaching back towards your foot and then coming down around, reaching towards the front of your room. And taking your time with this, pausing where it feels good or interesting. You can keep doing this, or you also can reach back for that opposite foot, that left foot, for a quad stretch. And then releasing that left leg, stepping that back foot forward, coming into a forward fold. Slight bend in the knees here. You can offer a little movement back and forth. Maybe grabbing your opposite elbows. Bringing our attention to the sensation in the back of the legs. Really trying to crease at the hips, bending your knees if you need to release any tension from the back. And then releasing our hands. We'll inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, planting your hands into the ground. We'll meet in down dog. Option to go right there or go through your flow, through plank, low plank, over up dog. Inhale, lift that left heel up towards the ceiling. And then stepping it forward, coming into a low lunge, lifting our arms up. Dropping the shoulders. We can think of that right shin pressing into the ground, giving us support. And then lowering our right arm Move to the ground, coming into a twist, reaching those left fingertips up towards the ceiling. And letting this arm take some big circles, reaching back and towards the front of your room. And taking your time with this, and then reaching back for a quad stretch, grabbing that back leg if that feels, if that's in your practice today. And releasing that hand down. Stepping that back foot forward. You can inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, coming all the way up to standing, slight bend in our knees, arms lift up. And exhale, hands to heart center. And even in a standing position, bringing attention to our three-dimensionality, our back body, where the breath is living here in this mountain pose. Inhale, lift both arms up. And then exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands into the mat, meeting in down dog. Option to go through your flow. Inhale, lifting that right heel up towards the ceiling. And then stepping it forward, coming into a high lunge, lifting both arms up. Both feet are on a separate train track, giving us stability, balance here. Feeling strong connection, a full, the firm plant of the foot in the front. And then we're gonna release our right arm down, stretching towards our right. So our left arm is reaching towards the right. Yeah, you can see here. Feeling length along that left hip. You think of that line from left toe all the way up to the left fingertips. And then we'll let that circle down, coming in, planting that left hand into the ground, and opening up into a twist. A high lunge twist here. And then stepping that right foot back, coming into a side lunge, a full side lunge or modified side lunge with the knee bent. Whatever variation you feel today. Feeling our core engaged in that plank. And then we'll all meet in a modified side plank, so dropping that left knee down. Then coming into a balance, shifting our weight onto this left hand and knee. Right leg and right fingertips are reaching in opposite direction. We can think of our body as if we're in a bookshelf, so there's books in front of us and behind us. Feeling engagement in the glute and the core. And then lowering our knees down, coming into a tabletop, dropping our belly, coming into a few cat and cows here. And full expression of the spine. And then we'll meet in down dog. Inhale, lifting that left heel up towards the ceiling. And stepping it forward, coming into a high plank on the left side. Reaching those arms up, dropping our shoulders. Feeling energy in the back leg, fully stretched. And then dropping our left arm down, reaching our right fingertips towards the left. Feeling the length from the right toes all the way to the right fingertips. And then circling that arm down, coming into our twist, opening that left arm up towards the ceiling. Then stepping that left foot back, coming into side plank and taking your variation here. And then all of us can meet in a modified side plank, dropping that right knee, shifting our weight forward, coming into a balance here. Our left fingertips are shooting towards the front of the room. Heel, energy is shooting out of the heel, and feeling our bodies on one plane. And then releasing that down, coming into tabletop, another cat and cow here, before shifting back into a child's pose. Taking a few breaths in our child's pose. Noticing any changes in our body, in our breath, in our heart. And your next couple breaths will meet in down dog. Inhale, lifting that right heel up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog, and stepping it forward, meeting again in our high lunge. Arms lift up. And we'll lower that right arm, reaching the left arm, full extension on the left side of the body. And then letting that circle down, again, coming into our twist. Left palm plants into the ground, opening up. And then stepping that right foot back, again, coming into our side plank, taking the modified if you need. Feeling strength, our full palm pressing into the ground, side body engaged, right fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then dropping that left knee, again, coming into this balance, both right arm and right leg, reaching in the opposite directions. And this time we're going to, have a slight arch here, reaching as if we could, our fingertips and toes might reach each other behind us. They won't, but just thinking of our body in this nice arch. And then exhaling, coming knee to elbow. So contracting, the body gets more contained here. And then inhale, extending. Again, slight arch, and then exhale, knee to nose. So go through this a couple times on your own breath. Sort of like a side crunch, engaging both the core as well as the glutes. And then we'll drop that knee down, leaving that right arm up, and then letting ourselves thread the needle so that right arm comes through. Yeah, our tailbone is in the air. You can also sink this one back into a child's pose twist. In this twist, you might clasp the arms or reach that left arm around. Sending our breath to our spine. We could visualize our spine twisting and feeling long here. We'll slowly come out of this twist, reaching that right arm up. And meeting in our down dog. If you're feeling up for a flow, you're welcome to it. We'll meet in down dog. We'll inhale, lifting that left heel up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog, stepping it forward, coming into our high lunge. Reaching both arms up. Dropping your shoulders. We'll lower that left arm down, reaching the right arm towards the left, feeling length in the right side of the body. And then letting that circle down, coming into our side, our twist. So planting that right hand to the ground. And then stepping the left foot back, meeting it for a side plank, taking your variation here. And that full right palm pressing into the ground. Core is engaged. And then dropping that right knee, coming into this side balance. Resting your hands if you need. And then feeling a slight arch here as if we're reaching our hands and toes as we connect behind us. Inhale, and then exhale, coming forward, bringing knee to elbow, contracting the body. Inhaling, expanding. And exhale, contracting. Doing this on your own breath. And then letting that left knee come to the ground, reaching the left arm up towards the ceiling, and then threading the needle, coming into a twist. On the other side, taking your variation, maybe pressing your hands together or letting that opposite arm bind behind you. Giving this moment as active rest. Slowly coming out of that. We meet in down dog. Really listening to what you need right now. Maybe that's a child pose for a couple breaths, or a flow, or a sip of water. We'll take 3 to 5 breaths, or whatever you need right now. We'll meet in down dog. Inhale, lifting that right heel up towards the ceiling, opening the hip, letting it hang here, feeling length. You can offer some hip circles, lubricating the hip socket. And then turning that hip in, stepping it forward, coming into a high lunge again, arms lift up. Lowering that right arm, reaching again for this twist, letting it circle, but this time we're gonna come into a warrior 2. So that back foot turns down, feet are perpendicular to each other. Knees just above our fingertips, reaching forward. Dropping the shoulders, feeling relaxed in our upper body. We'll inhale and reverse, reaching that left arm back. Right arm up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, coming to side angle. So elbow connects to thigh, reaching that left arm towards the front of the room. Feeling length from the edge of that left foot up through the fingertips. We'll stay here for a few breaths, and if you'd like a little bonus challenge, we're going to reach that this right arm. There was this parallel with the other leg. Huge core work here. Also, we'll feel it in our thigh, working extra hard. Nice. Feeling really strong here. And then everyone will stretch that front leg, feel a little release. Arms reaching out. We're going to shift our hips back, coming into triangle. So reaching that right hand for either your thigh or your shin or maybe the ground. Again, thinking of ourselves as a book on a bookshelf. Trying not to stick our tailbone out too much. And coming back up, body upright. We're going to shift into a half moon. So we'll come through our warrior two, stepping that back foot in. And you have a couple options. You can reach for the ground. You can also try to do it in this parallel. That's a little extra hard. But definitely reaching, using the ground or any sort of supports around you, a wall, a chair, as you come into this balance. Feeling that standing leg firmly rooted into the ground. And if you wobble a little bit or fall, just coming back to it, finding a still point to focus on. We think of energy coming out of both of our legs. And then releasing into a standing split. So that leg shoots up. Now folding over that front leg. And then releasing that leg down into our forward fold. We can let the feet go a little bit wider than the hips. Maybe grabbing the toes. Or grabbing, the back of the head. Letting yourselves really release in this forward fold. Any sort of bend of the knees or movement if you need. And then releasing our hands, letting our feet come back to hips length. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, planting our hands into the mat. Meeting in down dog, maybe going through your flow. Taking 3 big breaths here in our down dog. Maybe letting the breath come out of the mouth. Inhale with that left heel up towards the ceiling, opening the hip, letting it hang open a bit, and offering any hip circles here, lubricating that left hip socket. And then turning the hip in, stepping that foot forward, coming into our high lunge. Both arms reach up, dropping the shoulders. Lowering that left arm, reaching towards the left, feeling extension in the right side of the body, and then circling down, coming into our warrior two. And look, it's this way. So that right foot spins down, letting go of any tension in the shoulders or the face. Then inhale, reversing the warrior, reaching back. And exhale, side angle pose, connecting elbow to thigh, reaching the right fingertips towards the front of the room, length from the edge of the foot to the fingertips. And then option to bring that right or that left arm up, parallel, so like a full diagonal. Feeling with our thighs and core working extra hard. One more breath, and then stretching that front leg, coming up. Arms parallel to the ground, and then shifting the hips back, coming in a triangle. So reaching that left arm towards the shin or the thigh. Keeping your tailbone underneath us. And then bringing ourselves back upright. Preparing for half moon, so shifting into our warrior two first. Reaching for the ground or any sort of support, or trying to keep our arms parallel to each other. Lifting that right leg up. Side may feel different. You might have a slight bend in that standing leg. In the floating line, we can feel that energy really coming out of the heel. Finding a point to focus on, maybe testing your balance, releasing the ground. And then releasing into a standing split. So our upper body melts over this left leg, right leg is still shooting up towards the ceiling. And then releasing that leg, hanging out in our forward fold. We'll bend our left knee, stretching that right, turning towards our right. So that left arm plants into the ground, just a standing twist. And then bending opposite leg, switching towards our left. Releasing into our forward fold, and then coming all the way up to standing, letting our arms reach up. Hands come to heart center. Taking 5 breaths here, letting our breath and heart settle. Release our arms to the side, mountain, equal standing pose. Just taking in the information of our body. Inhale, reaching our arms up. Exhale, sinking our hips back into chair pose. Arms can reach out in front or they can come to prayer, however you're feeling right now. Knees are pointing right in the same direction of the weight over that middle toe. We'll bring your hands to heart center, twisting towards the right. So hooking that left elbow to the thigh, looking up towards the ceiling. And hanging out here, or if a side crow is in your practice and you want to try that out, you're welcome to. So that would look like coming more down towards the ground, lifting both arms into the ground and making a shelf basically with our upper arms. So that's in your practice and you want to try a new version. Welcome to play with that. And then we'll release into a forward fold. Wherever you're at, we'll meet there. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, coming into another chair pose, taking our hips back. Arms lift up, we're coming to the prayer pose. And finding a point of contact, just still point. Everyone bringing our arms to prayer, twisting towards our left, connecting right elbow to thigh. Yeah, your legs are probably burning a little bit, but you can do it. And your option to take a side crow, if that's in your practice, you want to play with that. And we'll release down, Whew. Taking a halfway lift, then the back of the thighs, and releasing, meeting back in down dog. Option to go through your flow. And then shifting our weight forward, coming into plank, and then slowly lowering all the way down to the ground, taking as much time as you possibly can. Ooh, and then once you're there, just really release into the ground. Probably feel your heartbeat. Taking a few big breaths here. Coming up into a sphinx for a moment, we're going to prepare for a bow pose. So for bow, bending our knees. Well, you probably lower your head down to the ground. Bending the knees and then reaching to the outside of the feet. We bring our forehead to the mat. And on our inhale, pressing our feet back, lifting our arms up for this back bend. Trying to keep the knees close together. And wherever it is, it might just be a couple inches off the ground that your upper body and knees are off. We're just feeling the stretch in our shoulders. One more breath. And then exhale, releasing, turning our cheek to one side, letting our knees rock back and forth. And we'll do that one more time, reaching to the outside of our feet. Forehead finds the mat. And on our inhale, pressing into our feet into our hands, lifting our upper body, finding that balance point on our bellies and pubic bone. And exhale, releasing, again, letting the knees rock back and forth. Taking a few breaths here before we'll meet in a child's pose. In this child's pose, enjoying this roundingness of the back. We're gonna make our way into pigeon. So to start, we'll come into down dog, lifting the hips up. And we're gonna lift that right leg forward, bringing that right knee to right wrist. Setting up for pigeon. If you need any sort of blanket or pillow underneath your on the right side, whatever you need to set up for pigeon for a minute or so. Before maybe releasing into this, taking a moment, letting your chest shine upwards, slight arch, and exhaling, releasing down into this. Taking note of where the sensation exists for you right here. Making any adjustments to deepen or step out of it if you need, and then finding stillness. And checking in with our breath. Where is our upper body making contact? Maybe with the leg. Feeling the expansion of the breath here. Next few breaths will come onto the side. And your way back into down dog. Giving that hip any sort of hip circles, whatever you need to bring it back to life. And setting up for the left side, lifting that left leg up towards the ceiling and bringing it forward, left knee to left wrist. And setting up for this side, giving you time, any props, any adjustments, and you might feel a little different on this side. Taking a moment for a slight arch expansion of the chest before releasing, folding forward, exhaling, releasing into pigeon on the left side. So we slowly come out of this side. We're going to make our way onto our backs. You're welcome to swing onto your seat if you want to be there, down dog, take your time with that. Rolling ourselves carefully onto our backs. And grabbing our thighs and just slowly releasing, extending with our legs and everything to the ground. We set up for a bridge pose, so bringing our feet, our sit bones, planting our feet into the ground, arms along the length of our torso, and then letting the hips float up, and the feet firmly into the ground. Arms can stay where they're at, feeling extension in the hips and knee all the way to the back. So releasing, we'll do that one more time. Then rocking knees back and forth. Preparing for another bridge, planting the feet into the ground, letting the hips float up. And slowly lowering, and then taking anything here that you need with running your practice. That could be a shoulder stand or a happy baby, twist. So letting yourself wind down your practice of any movements that your body is asking for. As we settle into stillness, into Shavasana, taking in this feeling within our backs. We spend a lot of time on our stomachs. Letting the breath fully expand the front of our chest. And taking a few really big inhales and exhales. We're letting ourselves just settle into a natural rhythm, releasing into the ground, letting the back of the body melt into our mats. For this next minute or so, letting yourself rest. There's nothing left to do right now. Invite a few big breaths into the chest. Offer some movements with fingers and toes. Eventually pushing ourselves onto one side. Making our way into a seat. We'd like to those who practice that way. Bringing our hands to our chest, either in prayer or on a little pile on our hearts. We'll take 3 big inhales and exhales together, really breathing into our palms, into our hands. Big inhale. Letting the head bow forward, honoring yourself. Gratitude for practicing community this evening. Namaste.